You had about 4 dreams last night, maybe 5. Long ones. Whole worlds with people in them and rules and things that mattered enormously while they were happening. By the time you poured your coffee, they were gone. Not faded. Not blurry at the edges. Gone. In the way a word can be gone the second you stop reaching for it. And here's the strange part. You didn't forget them because your memory is failing. You forgot them because your brain went to the trouble of erasing them. Think about how odd that is. Your brain is, in almost every other way, a hoarder. It kept the smell of your grandmother's kitchen. It kept a song you heard twice in 1987. It kept the exact wording of something embarrassing you said years ago, and it will happily play it back to you tonight, unasked. That same brain builds an entire film every night and destroys it before you've had breakfast. That isn't a malfunction. That's a decision. Let's start with where dreams live while they're happening. Most vivid dreaming happens during a stage of sleep called REM, rapid eye movement. Your eyes flick beneath your eyelids. Your brain lights up almost as brightly as it does when you're awake. And a small structure deep in your brain, the hippocampus, is the part that normally turns experience into memory. It's the scribe. It takes what happens to you and writes it down somewhere more permanent. During REM sleep, something reaches over and quietly stops the scribe from writing. In 2019, a team of researchers led by Shuntaro Izawa published a study in the journal Science that put a name to it. They were studying a particular set of cells in the hypothalamus, cells that produce something called melanin concentrating hormone, MCH neurons for short. These cells have a curious habit. A group of them switch on almost exclusively during REM sleep, exactly when you're dreaming, and they reach directly into the hippocampus. So the researchers asked the obvious question, what happens if you interfere with them? When they activated those MCH neurons in mice, memory got worse. When they removed them, memory got better. Let that land for a second. There is a set of cells in the brain whose job appears to be making you forget, and they clock in for their shift precisely when you're dreaming. The researchers found that when those fibers fired, they suppressed the activity of the hippocampus's own cells. The scribe was still there. Someone was holding its hand still. Now, an honest note, because this matters. That study was done in mice. It shows the mechanism exists and that it works. It doesn't prove on its own that this is the whole story of why your dream about the staircase disappeared. But it fits everything else we know. And it turns a question that used to be philosophical into something you can point at. The National Institutes of Health summarize the finding in a way that's hard to improve on. The brain may actively forget during dream sleep. Actively. On purpose. So why would it do that? Consider what a dream actually is. It's a rehearsal. It's your brain taking the pieces of your life, faces, rooms, worries, the shape of a conversation, and recombining them into situations that never happened. You were in your childhood house, but it had a room that doesn't exist. You were talking to someone who died years ago, and it seemed completely ordinary. You were late for something, and you couldn't run. None of that occurred. Now imagine if all of it were filed away with the same weight as things that did. You'd wake up with memories of arguments you never had, of places you've never been, that feel exactly as real as places you have, of people saying things they never said. Your record of your own life would slowly fill with events that were never true. There's a real word for the alternative: confabulation. When the brain treats invented material as genuine memory, it's not a peaceful state to be in. So the forgetting starts to look less like a bug and more like maintenance. Every night your brain runs the simulation, and every morning it takes the tape out and wipes it, so that tomorrow you still know the difference between what happened and what you dreamed. The reason you can trust your own memory at all might be that your brain is willing to throw most of the night away, which raises the question you're probably already asking. Why do you sometimes remember one? 3 things seem to matter. The first is when you wake up. Sleep isn't one flat thing. It runs in cycles of roughly 90 minutes, and each cycle ends in a stretch of REM. But those stretches are not the same size. The first one of the night is short, often under 10 minutes, each one after it runs longer. By the last cycle before morning, a single REM period can stretch to 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. Your brain does the deep physical repair work first, early in the night, and saves the dreaming for later. Which means your dreaming isn't spread evenly across the night at all. It's stacked at the end, in the hours just before you wake up. That's why the dream you catch is almost always the last one, and why waking mid-dream, an alarm, a noise, a full bladder, is the most reliable way to hold on to one. You've surfaced while it's still sitting in the shallow, temporary part of your mind. The wiping hasn't finished yet. The second is what you do in the first 60 seconds. Those images are in short-term memory, and short-term memory is a leaking bucket. Reach for your phone and the leak becomes a flood. New information pours in and takes the space. Messages, headlines, the day arriving all at once. Lie still instead, eyes closed. Go over the dream once, in words, before you move. That's you doing the scribe's job for it. You're handing the dream to the very system that was being held back all night. The third is whether you've decided you care. This one sounds too soft to be real, so let me be careful with it. Across a great many studies, people who say dreams matter to them remember more dreams than people who wave them off as noise. The finding is remarkably consistent. It shows up almost every time anyone looks. What nobody has untangled is which direction it runs. Do you remember more because you care? Or do you care because you happen to remember more? The researchers who study this say plainly that the causality isn't settled, so I won't oversell it. But there's still something you can do with it. Tell yourself as you're falling asleep that you'd like to remember. Put a notebook where your hand lands in the morning. It costs you nothing. And at worst, you've made your intention plain to a brain that is very good at noticing what you've decided matters. That's genuinely all it takes. Wake, don't move. Say it to yourself, write it down. People who keep dream journals don't have unusual brains. They just intervene before the erasing finishes. But I want to end somewhere else, because there's something quietly kind in this. You've probably had the thought, at some point, that forgetting your dreams means you're losing something, that a richer version of your inner life is happening every night and you're not invited. It isn't like that. Nothing is being taken from you. Something is being tidied, carefully, deliberately, by a system that has been doing this every night of your life without ever once making a mistake serious enough for you to notice. Every morning, your brain hands you back a life you can trust, a memory you can rely on, a clear line between what happened and what didn't. The dream was never meant to be kept. It was the workshop, not the furniture. And the fact that it's gone by breakfast isn't a failure of your memory. It's the reason your memory works at all.